Aloha, everyone. This is Tony with the Transformation Space. Today I want to talk about sobriety. Interesting topic, right, for transformation. I think there's a lot of, preconceived ideas about sobriety. It comes with a lot of stories for a lot of people. Usually it comes with the story about alcohol or substance abuse, which, of course, is relative. But sobriety, it has a lot more to offer than just, staying clean or being in recovery. Although that is an incredibly important piece of it, which I fully stand by and experience, I don't think that it's the only thing that people can get out of sobriety. As a matter of fact, I don't think everybody needs to be sober all the time, but I think we can utilize moments of sobriety or periods of sobriety to really bring in clarity about our life. So, aside from the, financial gain, which is an obvious, going out and having drinks is probably one of the most expensive parts of having dinner or being entertained. And I know many people enjoy that, and I am in no way downplaying the fun of that for those that can handle it and be safe and have wonderful effects from that. That's great. I know that many of us do not experience that. But what really is important with sobriety, moments of sobriety, periods of sobriety, is the clarity that comes with it. And I, like many other people, said I can stop if I want to, I just don't want to. And I think the question here is not, whether you could stop or not, it's why you're choosing not to. Because I don't have to, because I don't need to. Well, what does that mean? You don't need to stop drinking or using substances. And let's just not forget that this doesn't have to just stop with that. It can be working all the time. It can be exercising to the point of hurting yourself or compromising other things in your life because of the time that's needed to continue to maintain this incredibly intense workout routine. It can be shopping. It can be gambling. It can be eating. It can be not eating. It can be sex. It can be literally anything that distracts you from being in the present moment. Anything that you can use to escape your current sense of emotional being. Because oftentimes, if we just sit with that being, there is discomfort that arises. Most people, including myself, don't like to just sit and do quote-unquote nothing because we consider it to be non-productive or not fun or not enjoyable or not exciting. And, that's a perception and a choice in a way to view the sense of just being, but that is why we are here, to be. And being can be in many forms, right? It can be just sitting. It can be doing something. It can be not doing something. It can be sleeping. It can be being with someone. It can be by yourself. It doesn't really matter what you want to consider that, but with stopping and slowing down just for a moment, just to sit and see what comes up without distracting yourself from it, without avoiding it, can be an incredibly powerful tool to find out what's really going on in there. And yes, it may be uncomfortable, and there may be a reason why it's uncomfortable. And for growth and for transformation, those are the things that we need to look at. The things that make us, quote unquote, suffer. I don't want to suffer. I'm having a bad day. I just want to have a drink. I want to forget all about it. Yes, I fully understand that. But forgetting all about it and not processing it doesn't get rid of it. It shoves it down. And those shoved down moments of emotional responses will find a way to try to come out in various other activities in our life. It's inevitable. It doesn't go away. Those emotions have to be processed. So sobriety is a great way to do that, or moments of sobriety are great ways to do that. Because unintentionally, when we do anything to escape our present moment, we are escaping an emotion that needs to be processed in one way or the other. or we're escaping something that needs to change that we don't want to face because it's going to be difficult. It's going to be painful. It could be hurtful for ourselves or hurtful for someone else. Unintentionally, because we've made choices to be in positions that we're in that we don't necessarily belong in or don't align with our lives. Or maybe we wanted something so bad we just decided to compromise a piece of us that, we're resentful for. Resentment is a great way to not be sober. It's a wonderful way not to be sober. The fear that comes along with that of disappointing someone, of disappointing yourself, of having to face an emotional response that's deeply embedded and you've been hiding from for years, is a great reason not to be sober. But all of these things are lingering under the surface. And the longer we just keep them down, we're just prolonging the inevitable. And some of us can prolong the inevitable for the rest of our lives. I was someone who, it took a really long time for me to self-destruct. I was really good at putting on a facade. I looked successful. I looked happy. I was physically in great shape. I had all the things, and I was suffering inside. And I was drinking, and I was using. And no one would have seen that. The only person that was going to destroy me was me. And many of us don't even have those issues, but we just choose to not look at certain things because it's just a little bit easier. And we never change. We never grow past who we are in the present moment or what we want to be. And so stopping using whatever it is to distract you or to escape from your life will bring these things up. They will come to the surface. Now, it might be a good idea to have someone to talk to, or a therapist, or a friend or a family member that you really trust when you choose to take on this moment of sobriety or a prolonged time period of sobriety, because you'll need someone to support you. This is not something that we can just do on our own. We're living in this situation. And to fully understand it and express it and let it go, it's really important that we have someone else there to share it with, to speak it to let it out with. And then, have faith that it's going to be okay, whatever that is for you. Oftentimes, this comes with realizations that we have to be honest with ourselves about things that we maybe have done wrong or done to someone else to get our own needs met in a manipulative way. And facing that can be very difficult. But there's a way to get rid of that too. And it's called making amends. It's hard to admit things that we've done that we're not proud of. We've all done it. I've done more than my share. But being honest about it and being truthful to yourself is the first thing. And taking it a step further, to be honest with someone else about it, makes it real. The 12 steps are the 12 steps for a reason, and not everybody, wants to go through that whole process, but there's just gems of information in there and ways of helping us move to the next level of okayness and being and happiness and comfort and emotional okayness. So I encourage you to not try sobriety because you can, or not stop drinking or using whatever you're using because you can do it whenever you want to, but ask yourself why you're choosing not to. And then take the time to sit with that. Try a week. See what comes up. Address it. Face it. Be honest with yourself about whatever that thing is. If nothing comes up in a week, try 2. If nothing comes up in 2, try a month. Try 6 months. Try a year. but just do it for today. Because thinking about what am I going to do all year long if I don't drink, or if I don't shop randomly for things, or if I don't buy the next piece of technology, is a lot to take on. It actually is something to be worried about, and we don't need to worry about that. But it's a lot easier to just say, I'm not going to, buy that thing I don't need today. I'm not going to drink or use that drug I don't need to use today. And then sit with what comes up. But get yourself some support. Because that's the only way we are able to really get rid of the things we need to get rid of. And we all, if we look, can find someone in our lives that may be able to relate, even if it's someone we don't know yet. And if you don't have someone immediate in your life that you feel safe with, feel vulnerable with, there's lots of places to go to get a hold of that person. And honestly, sometimes it's easier to dump this stuff somewhere where people don't really know you, or people aren't really in your social circle. So I challenge you to take a moment of sobriety. Take a period of sobriety. Take sobriety in general and see what happens. See what kind of transformation you can come up with when you face the things that have been buried. Until next time.